What I've been doing up to now is just getting into every crevice with the brush and scooping out up to 5-6 years worth of buildup. I may have gone to this level once before, but usually I'll only give it a blowout with one of the compressed air cans. I had thought I was recording a bit more, however, it turns out I wasn't. However, you get the idea from this process here, I'm sure. There's where I started. I can now be assured of a grit-free, or relatively speaking so, surface when I go to paint. Years of build-up all gone away. There's a bit of sanding to do. I got a couple considerations. One is to get this entirely as smooth as gloss possible and paint it up nice from there in some alclad metals. The other option I was thinking, looking at a little scuff like this, and over here a bit of a blemish, and over here, that's got me thinking if I brought this down into some of those dark layers in the front and made it look like burn marks, or at least a mottled gray, that would kind of be like appreciating, as it's called nowadays, and help sell the idea that it's actually been through an uncontrolled fiery crash. There are 1 or 2 pits around the entire body, however they're not too bad, and they'll fill in nice and easy. One process I did that I failed to include on video was to re-drill all of the reaction control thrusters wherever they may be. Nice tight fit. So those guys were all ready. They had gotten a bit of build up over the years from the various layers of primer that I've put on here. Not that there haven't been too many that I've done since I installed them, however, it's definitely been a build up. So now this is definitely ready for a new coat on the inside wells there. For me, it's a little tough to tell the alclad is going down with the spray because it just goes on so finely, and it takes so many passes to really get things done. So next up, I think, is the paint booth. It's a little loud over at the paint booth right now, so we'll take a look at this a little more quietly over here. This is my alclad chip chart, and it also has 2 Rust-Oleums on it. This gold here and this first metal here. It's really stunning to see the differences between them. There are a lot of similarities. Mostly it's in the grain size. Rust-Oleum, you can see the grain everywhere. Alclad, nope, there's nothing. It's metal. So thinking of the exterior of the Jupiter 2, it's never been a bright silver. Definitely more of a dull one, I would say. And so that's going to rule out the white aluminum, probably the polished aluminum. Those are both very shiny and reflective. That dark aluminum there is kind of nice. The DarkAluminum could work. Aluminum is definitely out, as is the Rust-Oleum right there. For these wells, I started using airframe here at the end, which is that almost mirror-like dark finish right there, which is just gorgeous. However, I think I ran out of that and switched over to the stainless steel, if not steel itself. Those are pretty nice too, but wow, that's just awesome. So back over here, pretty much probably looking at either dull aluminum, which is very white, compared to the dark aluminum. Maybe the DarkAluminum could work. It's a little reflective for me. I like the way that dark aluminum just takes the light and flattens it out and yet still has that bit of specularity to it. The dull aluminum does that just a little bit more. In fact, I'd say they're both the same tone, but the dark aluminum is a polished version, whereas the dull aluminum is a matte. And I do got to get me some more of that airframe aluminum 119. When I get to it, I'm going to be painting a 1350 Enterprise refit in all of these colors alone, with some gold and brass highlights. It's going to be beautiful. Yeah, I think 103 is my color. Dark aluminum 103. Unless you think any of the spots or discolorations here are the paint weathering over time, they're not. I just haven't kept this clean at all. There's a dark spot right there, for example. Fingerprints. There's a hair in the paint at one point. And even some of the underpaint had smudged, causing wrinkles. I love my Alclad chip chart.